So you guys actually outscored them by 2 points in James minutes and 7 in the minutes that Zoo played. On the second night of a back-to-back, what was the challenge between understanding that you need those guys out there, but also too, you're early in the season, you've already had to lean on them a lot and have to rely on your bench a little more today?
Yeah, I mean, it could have gotten dangerous, just playing those guys, so many minutes, on a back-to-back is early in the season, I thought we came out with the right intent, 0 turnovers in the first quarter, then we had 8 in the second quarter, which allowed them to get back in the game. And then just some coverages where we just messed up and they got open shots after open shot after open shot. So we got to clean those things up, but, coming into the game, I thought our intent was really good. I thought, that second quarter on through, their pressure kind of hurt us, kind of sped us up. We couldn't get into our sets. And kind of took us out of our offense and kind of took us out of our rhythm as well.
About halfway through your typical evaluation, timeline, you're looking at combinations and whatnot. How much do you think you have learned about the combinations, groups you like, groups you don't like so far?
We haven't gotten there yet. Brad's, he's on his minute restriction. Not Kawhi, is out today. So we really haven't had a chance to really get to our full potential as far as lineups and things like that. So, we're just going to be patient, let our guys get healthy and, see what we have when those guys get healthy.
Looks like Bogey finally found his rhythm a little bit, navigating the pick and roll, ball handling a little bit. What did you see from Bogey in some extended minutes tonight?
Like I said, I thought, he was aggressive, attacking the basket, making the right play in the pick and rolls, and then taking the shots when they were available, So I thought he played tonight without thinking, just playing basketball, and that's what we need him to do.
Todd, I know you said you guys got off to a good start. What'd you make of the
Say it again?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said you already said you guys got off to a good start in the first quarter. Kind of what'd you make of the overall play of the starting unit throughout the night, not just the first 10?
The start of the game, like I said, was really good. We talked about, after last night, just taking care of the basketball, not turning the ball over, and to have a first quarter where you take care of the basketball was huge. And then, in the second quarter, they picked their pressure up, and then we struggled with their pressure, with their aggressiveness, and we had 8 turnovers in the second quarter. And then starting the third, I thought we were decent as well. I got to go back and look at it, but I thought we were decent.
With Brooke, have you had to look at different ways to kind of utilize him defensively? Because for the vast majority of his career, he's been a drop big, and it seems like you guys are trying to ask him to switch a little bit more on the perimeter than he had in past years. Is it just a thing where he's got to kind of just get up to the speed of the system, or you might have to reevaluate?
Not really asking him to switch. I think when him and JC come together, they switch, 4 or 5 pick and roll. But some of the times, they might run an action, JC switching onto a point guard, and then they come into the action with JC and Brooke, which we're switching 4 or 5 pick and rolls. And it's probably not a favorable matchup for Brooke, so we just got to take a look at that. Just put him in better positions and make sure that, we use him to his strength.
Coach, only 30 points there in the paint tonight. What did their length do to kind of make it tough for you guys there inside?
I thought their length was huge, and then I thought also just their pressure. Their pressure stopped us from getting to where we wanted to get on the floor. They picked up full court at every position, and it kind of gave us problems, which we've seen in the past. And so that was hard for us to execute our offense, hard for us to get in our offense, and then to make the right play as well.
I think Shea had 12 in the first half, 18 in that third quarter. I think he also had 12 assists. Where do you kind of begin to try to scheme a game plan, a defensive game plan against a guy like that?
I'm not going to tell you, man. We might see him again.
You gonna say 3 more times?
We might see him after that too.
So what are some of the difficulties, I guess, he presents, given how he's developed as a playmaker?
He's shifty, he's crafty, he's a 6'6" point guard, he can shoot over top of anybody. He's gotten better in double team. When you double team, he's gotten a lot better at finding the open guy. And then, like I said, Coach Mark Dagnall, he just does a great job of just giving him space, running stuff that allows him to have space to attack. And, he's not a slow attacker. Once they start their action, you're locked in on Joe coming off the double, and now Shane's going one-on-one attacking. He's great at getting to the free throw line so you can't get into his body. So he just, that's why he's an MVP. He's a great player, and he's figured it out. He's figured it out.
Last one.
Ty, this is the third time in 7 games you guys have given up at least 30 points off turnovers. The rest of the NBA has done it 5 times. combined. With the shirts that you guys made in training camp about getting back and
That's not gonna happen if you turn the ball over. Like, we're already slow, and if you turn the basketball over, there's no way you can get back in transition. So, we've talked about that, not to cut you off, but we talked about it, we've harped on it the last, 4 or 5 years now, so if we take care of the basketball, we know that we can score, we know we're gonna get great shots. And I told you before the game, like, offensively, we rank pretty high if you take away the turnovers. So we just gotta be smart. And a lot of times you just can't force it. You just got to hit the first open man. You can't drive into traffic. I think most of the times we're taking a dribble or two, too much, getting too deep. And now, they got 2 7-footers on the floor. You got Dort, Swipe, so just a lot of things that go against you. Once you penetrate too far. So we just got to be smart. Like hitting the first open man, whoever that may be, and then making a play and playing basketball from there. So we got to be better with that.
So for you, the transition defense basically just boils down to just don't turn the ball over. Like, you can live with everything else transition-wise. Like, that's been acceptable for you, just as long as you just don't turn the ball over.
I mean, I think last year we improved to 7th, I think, in transition defense, where we had been like 26, 27. So we made improvements there, so we know we can do that. But the biggest improvement, like you said, is just value the basketball, especially how thirsty guys are to score. I just don't see why they would want to, why we would turn the ball over so much. Like, that's more shots, that's more points, that's more attempts, So just being smart with the basketball, allowing ourselves to get shots on goal and not, having to try to get back in transition when you turn the basketball over. And we know we're pretty good defensively, and we can get back and set our defense.
You tired of talking about turnovers yet?
I'm mad about it, but we'll get better. Thank you.
Let's get ready for HoopJab.